Hey guys, it's Mace1370, and today I would like to share with you a complete disaster. So I start the draft by pre-banning ML Tywin as usual. My opponent bans Enot, which I think is some sort of flex, especially considering my complete failure this time. I take Fallen Cecilia first because she's a strong knight and she fits in a lot of my different bruiser teams. The opponent takes Alencia and Green Armin. I've seen Green Armin occasionally picked in control comps, and Alencia could be built fast as a stripper, and so I think my opponent is going for some sort of CC team. And so I think, what types of units would I want to pick against CC? I know Arbiter Vildred is good against many of the CC teams. Unfortunately, this looks like a tankier version of that, and so here's my first mistake. I think RB is really good against teams that don't have a lot of damage mitigation. So the fact that they've taken a thick unit like Alencia and a Green Armin, to me, RB doesn't really fit my playstyle here, so I don't think I should have taken him. I also take Holiday Euphine because she can dispel any debuffs, and I think I just committed way too hard to countering a debuff composition at this point, which my opponent may not even be going for. You know, Green Armin could just be a tank, Alencia could just be a bruiser. The opponent then takes the AI, Kazuna AI, however you say her name, the free character we got a little while ago in Tempest Surin. I take Seaside Bologna to counter the Tempest Surin. I don't 100% remember what Kazuna AI does, but I remember that she heals like every turn, and I think she can like give some buffs on her S3, so I'm not particularly worried about her. Tempest Surin is annoying, and I like taking units that provide multiple hits. I think Seaside Bologna is a really good counter pick to her. And then I just take Ruel because, you know, I need a healer. And unfortunately, I think I've set myself up in a bad spot here because the opponent takes a Rin, and I wasn't super familiar with Rin at the time of this recording. They ban Ruel, and so I have like very little sustain now. All I have is FCC. And I was hoping that my damage would just be able to punch through. Unfortunately, 3 of the enemy units are green, so that's off element for Seaside Bologna, who's going to be my main damage dealer here. You know, RB's very squishy, and he's just not really able to punch through very hard. You can see, you know, the Green Armin putting in a lot of work for my opponent. Green Rin S3s, if you don't know, she just gives 2 random buffs. The buffs come from different pools. One's offensive and one's defensive, so you can see everyone gets an offensive and a defensive buff, and they last for 3 turns, so especially if you get something like immunity, you're really strong. So I use Holiday Euphine's S1 here. I want to save her her cleanse if my Seaside Bologna gets debuffed, because if that happens, then I know Green Armin will just be able to keep her locked down, because my SSB is super slow. And I think this was my mistake. I needed either to ban the Armin, or I needed another cleanser, because Holiday Euphine, she'll wipe the buffs off your team, but she's not going to be a dedicated cleanser that's cleansing over and over and over again. And unfortunately, just the way that I drafted this put me in a really tough position, so I lost this one in the draft phase big time. Alencia S3's here and does pretty respectable damage. You can see how squishy my RB is.
It's too late to back out now.
Seaside Bologna bats back. Green Rin has given herself evasion, so she's dodging a lot. You know, and Alencia and Green Armin have defense buffs, so does Kazuna AI. My RB gets rezzed with Basket, so even with greater attack buff, you're going to see how little damage she does here. So this team is very, very tanky. I did notice that Green Rin had the lowest amount of HP. I think she only had like 12. Yeah, 12.9 you can see there. So I decided that she's going to be my target. Unfortunately, I think I missed during the match that she had evasion. There were so many buffs flying around, it was a little overwhelming. And I did not improv this one super well. So I S3 on my Seaside Bologna just to hopefully get unbuffable up, but all these buffs last so long it won't really matter anyways. I'm going to hold my S3 here again on Holiday Euphine. I'm just hoping to land some burns. Unfortunately, Armin has invulnerability, and I'm fairly certain that the Green Ren is built with F-Res. Oh no, sorry, she did get burned there. So my Holiday Yukine has 70 effectiveness, so she can't have that much effective resistance. I think I perhaps just got a little unlucky on the burns. Maybe if I had landed a lot of burns early on Alencia, that would have put me in a better spot here. Also, having to hold the S3 on my Holiday Yukine for so long, I think really hurt my damage output. So RB goes down. And now I have a bit better grasp of what I'm fighting against, and I decide that if I'm going to have any hope of winning, I basically need to protect my damage dealers. So I'm going to try to just chain taunt Alencia with my FCC. And prevent her from hitting Seaside Bologna. I decided to go ahead and cleanse here with my Holiday Yufine's S3 because I didn't want Garmin to be able to stun my Seaside Bologna. And again, this is just showing my ignorance of some of these characters. Green Ren can defense break on her S2, and so if she does that, my Seaside Bologna is just going to get debuffed again. You know, and I basically lack the damage to take Alencia down here anyways. But I was kind of desperate. I was just trying to get the Alencia down as fast as possible. And I thought also that giving my Holiday Yufine greater attack buff might have given me the DPS to do that. So there's the stun. So my Seaside Bologna is effectively useless at this point. So the only real damage source I have going on is Holiday Yufine. So this time I land some burns. Maybe if I had landed those in the beginning, this would have been a different game, because Alencia does get kind of low, and so does Kizuna AI.
Don't put all your faith in
I think if I had a little bit more damage, I might have been able to win. So banning the Armin might have been the choice. I also, I counterpicked Tempest Surin with Seaside Bologna, and then I banned her. I think my opponent had a very good choice here, banning my Ruel, because that was really my sustain, and banning that effectively took out 2 of my units because RB is so squishy. So once the opponent was able to get down RB, he effectively got a 2-for-1 army there, taking away Ruel. So you can see here I just don't have the damage, and his Alencia just totally wrecked me. So I thought I would share this. It was a really good learning opportunity for me. I know, more how these characters operate now, so if I see this again, I might have a better strategy. So I think it's, really wise if you go through some of the characters you're less familiar with and just review their abilities. It can really help out in situations like this. Anyways, thanks for watching. Later.